Hello and welcome to the program, The Eagle, a weekly program showcasing activities within the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission, EFCC. My name is Aisha Gambari and with me is Aisha Mohammed. Hello there.
Hi Aisha. Welcome to this week's edition of the program, produced by the Public Affairs Department of the EFCC.
Corruption is dishonesty and illegal behavior by people in positions of trust. A public office is a public trust. Do not abuse positions of trust for private gains. Stay away from corruption. Nigeria is a great nation, and it is our responsibility to make the country greater. If you notice any act of corruption, please report to the EFCC via info@efccnigeria.org or call 09 904 4751 or 09 904 4752. You can also call 09 904 4753. This message is from the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission, EFCC.
Positive moral values are important in our day-to-day activities. Apart from giving meaning and purpose to our lives, having moral means you're able to channel your behavior towards a beneficial and fulfilling conduct everywhere you find yourself. Despite measures put in place to check the menace of corruption, the increasing rates of corruption incidences in our society is becoming very frightening as the perpetrators have become unrepentant. Can value reorientation play a role in checking the menace? Does the family have a role to play in the fight against corruption? In this next report, we'll take a look at value reorientation as a tool in fighting corruption. Please stay tuned as Kamilu Gaby brings you answers to these questions.
According to an online article by SALibrary.com, incorporating the moral value of honesty in your life makes you trustworthy. You will have a clear conscience because you can respect yourself. The people that you come into contact with will be able to count on you to be fair and sincere. Your integrity will allow you to advance in both your personal and professional life. There are more opportunities for you to fully experience life when you are an honest person. The issue of integrity brings us to the menace of corruption. A lot of Nigerians are no longer concerned about their integrity, which is evident in the way and manner public funds is being looted for private gains. Corruption, as many would say, is endemic in Nigeria. Everywhere you go, the menace stares you in the face, from bad roads to poor utility supply and unemployment. Poverty is also as a result of corruption because funds meant for developmental purposes are being diverted for personal gains. The government had since recognized these many problems and so established various agencies to combat corruption, some of which are the Independent Corrupt Practices and Other Related Offences Commission, ICPC, the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission, EFCC, and the Code of Conduct Bureau, CCB, amongst others, with each having its separate laws. Apart from the laws enacted to fight corruption, can value reorientation be a tool in checking the spread of corruption? The Eagle team went on the streets of Abuja to sample people's opinion on this. Some of the respondents have this to say.
The parents should teach their children the right thing. First of all, when they send their children to school, they should let them know that they should study and pass their exams by themselves. That whatever they do, they have to earn it on merit. Because I believe some parents are the ones that allow their children to go into all these corrupt practices, malpractices. They even pay the teachers, buy question papers to allow these children to move further, to move to the next level. And these children, they are assimilating all these things, and they know that their parents are doing this for them, and they can continue with it because what your parents are doing and you're doing it, nobody will caution you about it.
What I see in these things is all about the family. parent, it's the way you brought up your children that they will also move elsewhere outside. We parents, we need to impact some things in our children. You need to teach them before any other thing. You're supposed to be the teacher, the real teacher. You have to teach your children what to do and you have to educate them to know the bad and the good thing in our country.
I am suggesting that we will start from home, because home is the beginning of the whole thing. If you have a good family value, you will not be involved in the violence. You will not be involved in stealing. But because we have lost our family value, that is why Nigeria is going the way they are going. Just take for instance, in UNN, there is a child who the friends asked him to join an association. They call it one name, but the child came home and told the father, say, my friend asked me to join one association called the court. But the father, because the child was so close to the father, that was why he's able to disclose to the father. I am now advocating that parents should be close to their children and have time for them. The beginning of the whole destruction in this country started from home, because a lot of parents are not at home. They don't know who associate with their children. They don't know how they go out and how they come in. They don't even know how they eat, because they are looking for material things.
They need an orientation from the family, reorientation, and to educate them values, spiritual values, not ordinary moral values alone, spiritual values. And when they know what it takes for a man and a woman to stay as one, centered on God, then their lifestyle will change. They will now think of God first. And when they are thinking of God, they will not be corrupted in their heart.
Don't look what other people are doing that is bad. Just focus attention on what you are doing. Teaching children how to struggle. Maybe after education, they will learn, they will do other things to at least to keep life going. The children will not look back. They will know that maybe after secondary school education, either you learn trade or you learn how to sew machine or carpentry work or other things. Be contented with what they have.
We are the role model to our children. It starts from the mother. Understand? You as a mother, you have to present yourself in a way that the child will not regret it in life. You understand? You inculcate things in the child that are positive. You don't fight in your child's presence. You understand? There's some things you don't say, like making call. You begin to lie, and your child is there watching. Before you know it, he sees it as a normal thing.
The young people, they often say, are the future of the world. The future of our country depends on the moral values imparted to them when they are young. Children have an immense power of absorption. The young people, they often say, are the future of the world. The future of our country depends on the moral values imparted to them when they are young. Children have an immense power of observation, and their feelings are deep-rooted. They always observe their parents at home and their teachers in school. For this reason, some respondents called on parents to be good examples to their wards.
I think it should be a kind of general sensitization from the family. It should be taught to the children, and then immediately they get to school, because it starts even at the nursery level. You leave your own food, you go to take another person's food. That is corrupt practice. So at that level, it shouldn't be taught as a course, but as a kind of instilling values in children. And then for the general society, there should be massive awareness campaign about it, because some people that are indulged in corruption and corrupt practices may not even know that what they are doing is injurious to their own persons and the society as a whole. So the government should, through the arms already in place, bring out campaign that will sensitize people on the need to stay away from corrupt practices.
The process of learning for a child is not magical. It is important that we instill a sound base of strong moral values into our children. In conclusion, Moral values are extremely important for your overall well-being. Moral values provide a structure for your life. We should all work towards a better Nigeria by imbibing in good conduct and instilling discipline and good morals in our children. Honesty makes you respectable.
Corruption is a cankerworm, na cankerworm. I say na cankerworm, na cankerworm. Corruption don't finish our country. Nigeria women rise up and come together, oh yeah.
Every woman come out, but we fight corruption together, oh. Every woman fall out, but we kill corruption together, oh.
Them they thief our money, send them obodo yibo. Children they suffer every day, better school in no day. Nigeria women come, oh, women from every sector, make we fight corruption, we won't kill our country. Them go collect money for light, chop the money, light we no see. Good road and good health and call, we no see. I said na cankerworm, oh, na cankerworm, oh.
Join the EFCC in its crusade to rid Nigeria of corruption. Nigeria, now we all know.
Moving on, Acting Chairman of the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission EFCC, Ibrahim Mustafa Magu, has tasked the management of Nigerian Pipelines and Product Marketing Company, PPMC, to initiate a new thinking into the sector in order to bring sanity into it. Zainab Sani Ahmed is our guide on this. Over to you, Zainab.
Magu gave the charge at the EFCC's head office, Abuja, while receiving the management of PPMC, led by the managing director of the agency, Umar Adia. The EFCC boss, while commending Adia over his appointment as the managing director of the organization, described the sector as critical to the country's economy.
This is a very critical sector of the economy. If there is any sabotage, it is going to place a lot of strength on the economy and the country. So I'm happy that you came, and it shows that you really want to put in a very transparent process and bring in some of the lapses you must have noticed.
Adia lauded the commission for its giant strides towards eradicating corruption in the country. He said the visit was necessary as the EFCC was one of the stakeholders of the company.
In any normal corporate governance system, it is important to first of all identify your stakeholders who help you run your business successfully. And we felt EFCC is one of those key stakeholders. First of all, we said, therefore, we must pay a courtesy call on you, sir, to appreciate what you've been doing for the nation overall in fighting crime, especially financial one, and to appreciate you more as to what you've been doing for us as NPMC.
He added that the delegation was also at the EFCC to show support and cooperation, adding that his agency will not hesitate to call on the Commission for further support when they encounter difficulty that might require intervention. In a related development, Acting Chairman EFCC pledged the Commission's support for the Association of National Accountants of Nigeria, ANAN, while reiterating the need for everyone to come on board in the anti-corruption crusade. He made the call while receiving the association led by its president, Sheikh Usman Laden, at the EFCC's head office, Abuja. The EFCC boss, who is also a member of ANAN, urged members not to allow anything to soil the good reputation it has labored to build over the years. While pledging support for the association, Magu stressed the need for collaboration among all stakeholders to stamp out corruption, which he described as a threat to the survival of Nigeria. Laden, while appreciating Magu for his support over the years, explained that the essence of the visit was to acknowledge the tremendous work done by the EFCC, led by one of its members, and further seek partnership with the anti-graft agency. He used the occasion to initiate the EFCC boss of the association's annual conference coming up in October and solicited support towards its success.
Ladan's visit to the EFCC is the first since he took over the mantle of leadership of ANAN in April this year. Zainab Sani Ahmed reporting for the Eagle.
Glad to know you're still there. The Economic and Financial Crimes Commission EFCC has been lauded for its resolve towards tackling corruption in Nigeria. This commendation came as the National Corruption Commission of Cameroon paid a courtesy tour to the EFCC. Please stay tuned as Rolake Odofin Jolayemi brings you an account of what transpired during the visit. Over to you, Rolake.
Chairman of the National Anti-Corruption Commission of Cameroon, Diodone Massey Gams, while seeking the EFCC's support in fighting the menace of corruption across African states, said the study tour is geared towards enlightening his agency staff on the working modalities of EFCC and to seek areas of partnership which will be mutually beneficial to both agencies. He said part of the objectives of their visit was also to acquire some of the best practices of the EFCC, to negotiate modalities for their staff to be trained at the EFCC Academy, and kickstart procedures to establish formal cooperation ties between the Cameroonian Anti-Corruption Agency and the EFCC. The delegation, which was received by the acting chairman, EFCC, Ibrahim Magu, was taken round the EFCC facilities and a tour of the permanent office site of the commission. Magu, who expressed willingness to partner with CONAC, said there is a need to strengthen the existing collaboration among African countries in fighting corruption, which he said is a cog in the wheel of progress. Secretary to the Commission, Emmanuel Adegboyega Aremo, led the tour to the permanent site where the project coordinator, Engineer Dixon Otitoju, conducted the team round the facilities at the site. The visiting Cameroonian team described the facilities at the permanent site of the EFCC as contemporary and expressed pleasure at the quality of work at the new site.
We are here as chairman of an anti-corruption commission in our country, and we pay a visit so as to discover, to have to share, to have to exchange also experiences with EFCC of Nigeria. So we came here so as to see also the headquarters, as it is building, and what is very important and it is very impressive for us is that they are seeing the future of the nation, the future of the fight against corruption, the future of construction of this country against corruption.
The delegation also visited the EFCC Academy, Cairo, Abuja, where training facilities were inspected. Rolake Odofin Jolayemi reporting for the Eagle. Thank you, Rolake, for that report. The program is still the Eagle, coming to you from the stables of the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission, EFCC. In another development, the management of Channels television station has expressed readiness to train some staff of the Public Affairs Department, PAD, of the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission, EFCC, in effective communication. This was disclosed during a courtesy visit by the acting chairman of the EFCC, Ibrahim Mustafa Magu, to Channels Television's headquarters in Lagos. The report. Speaking on the planned training, the Assistant General Manager, Operations, Kingsley Uranta, who received the delegation led by Magu, said it was important that spokespersons in the Commission be trained in the art of effective communication, particularly with members of the community who are their target audience. Uranta said one of the ingredients of effective communication was getting feedback from target audience. He indicated that the channel's TV management's decision to deepen the skills of public relation officers of law enforcement and government agencies in the area of communication with the community is part of the station's contribution towards enhancing capacities in those agencies.
We are in service of the community, of the country, to try and set agenda, to try and deepen democracy, good governance, openness. So working with you and similar government agencies that are as focused as you are comes to us naturally, and that is why we would always support your actions. Would also like to help in any way to deepen the skills of your staff, some relevant members of staff. And on that score, I'd like to inform you that my chairman has approved that we give a slot or two to your spokespersons to attend our 5-day high-octane training for government spokespersons.
The EFCC boss thanked the management of the television station for what he described as an untiring support in the fight against corruption. He expressed confidence that the war against corruption would be won, while drawing the attention of his hosts to the constitutional role of the media in the fight against corruption.
I have come to congratulate you on keeping on maintaining the excellence that your station is known for, and also thanking you for the untiring support. And it clearly shows that you believe in the fight against corruption, because this is a fight that all of us are involved, and every reasonable Nigerian must be involved. So I recognize everything you do, I monitor everything that happens here.
The EFCC boss also visited the TV Continental's office in Lagos, where he called for support for the anti-graft war. Magu, who lamented the effect of corruption in the country, said the media, being the fourth estate of the realm, holds the responsibility to educate and inform the public about the ills of corruption. The anti-graft czar, who expressed gratitude to the management of the television station for projecting the Commission's war against corruption in its programming, said Nigeria has both the human and natural resources to fight the corruption monster.
We appreciate the support you have been given to the anti-corruption activities, particularly as relate to what we do. So I say I should just come and say thank you for the support.
Lemi Olalemi, the Chief Executive Officer, Television Continental Lagos, who received the EFCC boss and his team, urged Nigerians to join hands in the fight against corruption. Olalemi assured the EFCC boss that the station would not deviate from its vision to constantly project the positive image of the country, adding that the goal of the station is to see to the development of the country and Africa in general.
What we stand for here is to project positive image of the country. And for us to be able to do that effectively, we need to make sure that we have the moral, social and political standard that can be applauded internationally. And that's why we are ready to be upheld to the EFCC.
Magu was later conducted around some facilities in the station by the station's Deputy Director, News, Tunde Osho. The visits are in furtherance of EFCC's resolve to involve all Nigerians in the fight against corruption. Still on the Commission's collaborative effort in the war against graft, Milafia Yakubu, head of operations at the EFCC Benin Zonal Office, led a team of his staff to the Governor of Edo State, Godwin Obaseki, at the Governor's Office, Benin, Edo State. Yakubu told the Governor that the essence of the visit was to officially inform him of the setting up of an EFCC office in the state. He said it became imperative to open an office in Benin City due to its strategic position and the need to take the fight against corruption to the grassroots so that more Nigerians can take ownership of the fight. He assured the Governor of EFCC's professionalism in the discharge of its duties. The Governor, who received the delegation, commended the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission, EFCC, for bringing integrity into the fight against corruption in the country. He expressed delight over the setting up of an EFCC office in the state, adding that the coming of the Commission would be of much value to the state. Rolake Odofinjolaimi, reporting for The Eagle.
And with Rolake's report, we wrap it up on this week's edition of the program. Please don't forget to send your feedback to theeagle@efccnigeria.org. And if you have missed any parts of this program, not to worry. Log on to youtube.com/official EFCC.
Don't forget to also like our page on facebook.com/official EFCC or follow us on Twitter @official EFCC. I am Aisha Muhammad. Thank you for watching.
My name is Aisha Gambari. Keep a date with us again next week and on the same station as we bring you another edition of the program. Bye-bye.